Hi guys, we're here in the garden and last night we had a hard freeze. So it got down to at least 21 degrees Fahrenheit. I did not know it was going to get that cold. I knew that it was going to be frosty this week. I knew that it was going to be upper 20s freezing, but I did not pay attention and I didn't realize it was going to get that cold. So I woke up this morning and saw that it frosted really hard, and I came out before the sun had hit my garden and I tried to turn the hose on and it was frozen solid. So I got my watering can and just filled it up from the spigot over and over, and I put it on the plants that were frozen. They were all covered with the frost covers, and this bed was covered with a tarp, but everything was frozen solid underneath. And so I was pretty disappointed that I wasn't on top of it. I would have done things a little differently if I had known it was going to freeze that hard. And so, but that's okay. We harvest a lot of wisdom in this situation. So I can look at all the different plants that I planted. I have planted a lot of different varieties of things, and what this shows me is this is what survives in a hard freeze. So let's go take a look. So it looks like our cilantro frosted, but it will be okay. Same with the parsley. It looks a little damaged, but I was able to water that a lot, and I think it's going to be fine. Our one little pink celery looks like it will spring back. The arugula, dino kale, and onions are fine. Parsley is okay. Cutting celery is okay. Now, these carrots look like they're a little bit damaged, but I think they'll be fine. They will spring back. They're looking okay. The thyme is fine. Thyme is very, very hardy, so that's going to be just fine. I did water all these best I could with my watering can. It looks like these kales are fine. The Japanese flowering kale, the regular green kale is fine. The collards are fine. Even these telephone peas are fine, which is really surprising to me. This variety is definitely more cold hardy than the sugar snap peas that I had, and I didn't water these this morning because I thought they were goners, but I'm very surprised to see that they look just fine. This is regular green kale. There's even some dills that are fine. Our tatsoi is definitely a little damaged, very soft, but I think it will be okay and spring back. This is our noble giant spinach. It's definitely damaged, but I think that it may come back and be fine. What you're doing. This is our chamomile whiskey barrel, and I think it's just fine. It's going to spring back. I was able to water that as well. Right here, this is our rooted parsley, which also looks like it's going to spring back fine. Catnip seems to be very frost hardy. I had no idea. These cabbages are fine, and I'm so happy about that. I watered them and they seem to be just fine. They had a little bit of damage under the frost cover, but they look really good. These Yad Fa broccolis have a little bit of damage, but I think they're going to be just fine and spring back. They are cold hardy, of course, but this variety, the seed packet said that it is better for a spring planting because it's actually really heat resistant. So it's a very versatile plant. This calendula is not looking very happy at all. It looks pretty damaged. My little starts look like they're damaged, but they'll be okay if it warms up. These cauliflowers did not do super well. They're very frost damaged. This one we're going to harvest, I think, because it's a little bit soft. And I just think that it would be the best time to just take it. These ones over here were more protected by their leaves, and so I think they feel a lot more solid still, and so I'm gonna let those go. This is sweet alyssum here in the front, doing great. Has not bloomed yet, but is just looking strong and good. These are the early Jersey Wakefield cabbages. These ones I did not have covered, and they do look more damaged. I will probably harvest this one right here because it looks pretty soft and damaged. Had I had those covered, this one was covered here with the parsley and calendula. Even though the calendula is not looking good, the parsley was covered and this first cabbage was covered, but this was not. So we'll be harvesting this cabbage today. The radishes were definitely damaged. I mean, their leaves are okay, but they're not looking happy. So we'll see how those do the next couple of days. These are radicchio, and they looked very damaged when I was looking at them this morning. To me, it really looks just like the outer leaves are pretty wilty and damaged, but this green stuff here, it's looking pretty good. So maybe these will be okay. I'm just gonna trim the outer leaves and see how that goes. My beets are looking a little unhappy, but I think and I hope that they will spring back. We'll see. That's pretty sad. And then over here we have, yeah, this is our Swiss chard. It's not looking good. Right here, it's not looking very good. Not sure what will happen with that. These are the lettuce. They're not looking very happy either. Yeah, look at that. The lettuces are not looking good. Actually, the kale is looking better here compared to the romaine. The red romaine is definitely, you can see how it's looking really sad. These are more yad fa, which also look damaged, but maybe okay if it warms up. This is my little Kamatsuna sprout. Damaged, but we'll see how it does, little buddy. This right here is my broad beans. Broad beans do not like a hard frost, so very sad. They're not looking good. So here we're gonna have the harvest boy harvest our biggest purple cauliflower. This was a hybrid. It actually seems to me that maybe it didn't do as well as the heirlooms we had. So we'll see how things do if it warms up next week. We're still going to get some frosty nights before it warms up, so we'll see how things do with a repeated harsh frost. I'm just going to... So this is a small, lovely little cauliflower. But this is our harvest. What would you do with purple cauliflower? I could see this roasted with a buffalo sauce on it. Be really good. What would you do with purple cauliflower from your garden? So we're also going to come over here and harvest our one cabbage that was not even covered, that sustained the most damage. So this is an early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, and it's got a pointed sort of head on it. I'll show you. Yep, I can hold it up. So it's got this lovely pointed head. We can just rip off those outer leaves. You can tell the top about here up is more damaged. The bottom looks really good. Honey, just the outside ones like that, please. And then leave the head. So that is our early Jersey Wakefield cabbage, pointed cabbage, a nice small head. So we're gonna put that in our fridge and figure out what to do with it tomorrow. We already have plans for supper tonight.
I'm the king of the mountain.
What would I do differently next time? I would mulch leaves around all my plants heavily, like heavily and thick, and possibly even put leaves on top of the big cabbages just to protect them a little bit more and insulate them. I would try doing that. And then this also makes me really want to get a high tunnel or a greenhouse to grow things in through the winter months. This garden did not get sun until around 8 in the morning. So that's something to consider with our other piece of land in the front of our property that we're going to be making into more garden space. That area gets sun much earlier than this garden back here. So I'm thinking this garden is really good for the summer, since we get those really harsh 90-degree days and humidity. It actually is a little too much for our tomatoes during that time, so having them back here is better than having them in the sunnier space that we have. But that sunnier space in the front would be better for a winter garden. It gets more sunlight. This garden will be shaded earlier in the evening. Up there it gets sun almost until the sun is down. Since we have that woods behind us, that does affect our sunlight exposure. So this makes me really want to get a greenhouse, because in that case I could double cover things. I would have my little row covers like this, and then I would also have the greenhouse as another layer of protection. And so that is a dream for the future. But I'm in the dreaming phase, and I am seeing how that would be very beneficial to my garden and extend our growth, and our plants would grow faster, obviously being covered and insulated and have that protection. So another thing that I wanted to share with you is that we got this new addition to our homestead. This is a pear tree. It is a Bartlett pear, and we got this at Lowe's recently. It was in November, and I need another tree to help pollinate this, so we will at some point soon be purchasing another pear tree. It has a list on the back of the tag of several different types of pears that would be a good pollinator for it. So we don't have to get the same type. We could get any of these different types. But I'm excited to have this. It is a tall tree. It is 20 to 30 feet tall. So I'm not sure where we're going to put it yet. We may end up putting it in the back here. Because it's going to be 20 to 30 feet tall, I don't want it to create a lot of shade for other plants. So putting it back there, I think would be a good spot. I wouldn't want it like in the middle of everything. It would shade things too much, I think. So that's my frost harvest, and I got damaged plants, but I also got a harvest. So it's not a total loss. And I learned so much, and I think going through our next hard frost, I'll do a lot better. And next year, I will know so much better how to prepare my garden for a hard frost. So at least if I didn't harvest everything that I planted, I harvested a lot of wisdom and how to do it better next time. So thanks for stopping by.